Wall Street's tech IPO bankers may finally have a reason to break out the champagne after an extended drought was broken up this week with the market debuts of Reddit and Astera Labs. While occupying very different corners of the technology market, Reddit and Astera were the first notable venture-backed tech companies to go public in the U.S. since Instacart and Klaviyo in September. Before that, there hadn't been a significant deal since late 2021. Morgan Stanley was the big winner among banks, having captured the coveted lead left spot on both IPOs. Goldman Sachs led last year's only two big venture-backed offerings, meaning it had been a long dry spell for Morgan Stanley. The bank was lead left on IPOs for HashiCorp and Samsara in December 2021. In the past 2 years, there have only been 15 tech IPOs total, according to research provided by University of Florida finance professor Jay Ritter. That came after a booming market in 2021, when 121 tech companies went public, the most since the dot-com bubble in 2000. Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley cut thousands of jobs last year in part due to the downturn in initial public offerings. The capital markets have been relatively quiet the past couple of years, said Eric Juergens, a partner at law firm Debevoise and Plimpton who focuses on capital markets and private equity. Investment banks have certainly been active in pitching clients on IPOs and other transactions and positioning themselves to be there when companies are finally ready, he said. Some market experts see the past week's action as a sign of what's to come. New York Stock Exchange President Lynn Martin told CNBC on Thursday, at the opening of Reddit trading, that a lot of companies are working toward going out in the second quarter. That would be welcome news for Morgan Stanley. The bank collected around $37 million in total fees as the lead underwriter for the Astera and Reddit IPOs. It's a drop in the bucket for the bank, which reported $12.9 billion in net revenue last quarter, largely from wealth management. But it could be a sign of life in the investment banking unit, which saw revenue drop by 46% over a 2-year stretch from the fourth quarter of 2021 to the final 3 months of last year. The 12 underwriters on Astera's IPO this week collected $39.2 million in fees, with Morgan Stanley taking 1/3 of the total, or around $12.9 million. The overallotment, or greenshoe option, which allows underwriters to purchase an additional 15% of shares for clients, would add $5.9 million to the fees paid out. Astera sells data center connectivity chips to cloud and artificial intelligence infrastructure companies. The stock soared 72% in its Nasdaq debut on Wednesday and continued rallying, gaining another 13% over the next 2 days, benefiting from investors' seemingly insatiable appetite for all things AI. Reddit's long-awaited IPO came Wednesday night, with shares hitting the open market Thursday.